The illusion of a self-running cosmos.
Before we speak of hierarchy, governance, or unseen orders, we must first address the assumption that quietly shapes how you see everything. You have been taught that the universe runs itself, that once the initial forces were set in motion, everything else followed automatically. No supervision, no intention beyond mechanics, no intelligence beyond equations. This idea sounds mature, it sounds scientific, it sounds safe, but it creates a subtle fracture inside you, one you've felt even if you never named it. Because if the universe truly runs itself, then meaning is accidental, order is coincidence, and your choices are ultimately private events, noticed by no one but you. Yet your body does not live as if this is true. Notice the hesitation you feel before acting against your own conscience, even when no one is watching. Notice the quiet weight that settles when you choose alignment over advantage. Notice the unease that arises when you drift from what feels internally coherent, even if the world rewards you for it. If the universe were indifferent, these sensations would not exist. A purely mechanical system does not produce moral gravity. You do not merely think your actions matter, you feel it. That feeling is not conditioning, it is orientation. From childhood onward, you sensed a difference between chaos and order, not as an abstract concept, but as a lived experience. Some choices expand you, others fragment you. Some moments feel integrated, as if life aligns. Others feel dissonant, as if something subtle has gone off-key. This distinction does not come from culture alone. Cultures disagree. Consciences persist. The belief in a self-running cosmos attempts to explain away this distinction by calling it evolution, social contract, or neural conditioning. But those explanations never reach the depth of the experience itself, because the experience is not conceptual, it is somatic. When you look at the night sky and are told it is all random, stars scattered without oversight, galaxies turning without purpose, something in you resists quietly, not with argument, with discomfort. Not because science is wrong, but because reduction is incomplete. You sense, even now, that order is being maintained, not merely observed. That balance is upheld, not incidental. That coherence does not survive across billions of years and distances without stewardship. This does not mean control. It does not mean surveillance in the human sense. It means administration, the quiet maintenance of conditions that allow freedom to exist without dissolving into entropy. A system without oversight collapses. A system with too much control stagnates. Yet the cosmos persists, dynamic, creative, law-bound, and free. That paradox alone should unsettle the assumption of indifference. Here is the subtle truth most never articulate. You do not feel abandoned in this universe. You feel unseen, and there is a difference. Abandonment implies no one cares. Unseen implies someone does, but not in ways you were taught to recognize. This episode exists to restore that recognition, not by demanding belief, but by revealing structure. Because once you perceive governance, not domination, not coercion, but intelligent coordination, the universe stops feeling hostile or meaningless. It begins to feel developmental, and development requires order. Before we explore the layers of that order, we must correct the starting position. You are not beneath the structure you are about to encounter. You are within it. Your life is not an interruption in a cosmic process. It is part of the process being studied. Not judged, not punished, understood. This is where the illusion of a self-running cosmos dissolves, not into fear, but into responsibility. And from here, we proceed.
Chapter 2. Why randomness feels wrong in your body.
Before you ever questioned the universe with your mind, your body reached a conclusion. It knew, without language, that something about the nothing but chance explanation did not fit. You can feel this mismatch most clearly in moments of stillness. Not dramatic moments, ordinary ones. When the day slows and noise recedes, when your breath deepens without effort, when thought loosens its grip. In those moments, the idea that everything is random does not feel liberating. It feels hollow. Randomness does not soothe the nervous system. It does not settle the chest. It does not resolve the quiet pressure behind the sternum. Yet order does, not imposed order, recognized order. This is how you know the distinction is real. When you act in alignment, even imperfectly, your body softens. When you act against what you know, even cleverly, tension accumulates. This response precedes belief. It exists before theology, before philosophy, before ideology. Your nervous system is not reacting to doctrine. It is responding to coherence. If the universe were fundamentally chaotic, coherence would be a temporary illusion. A useful trick for survival, perhaps, but nothing more. But coherence persists across scales. Atoms obey patterns. Molecules assemble predictably. Cells specialize. Systems coordinate. Ecosystems balance. Galaxies hold form. And consciousness, instead of flattening, deepens. This is not the signature of randomness slowly correcting itself. It is the signature of guidance that allows freedom without collapse. Random systems decay. Guided systems evolve. The fact that you feel distress when things fragment, personally or collectively, is evidence that you are oriented toward a larger order. This is why injustice disturbs you even when it does not harm you directly. Why cruelty feels wrong even when it benefits you. Why beauty moves you even when it serves no survival function. These responses are not sentimental accidents. They are developmental signals. You were not designed merely to endure reality. You were designed to interpret it, to sense alignment, to detect deviation, to respond. This sensitivity becomes painful on a world where signals are mixed, where clarity is delayed, where consequences unfold slowly. But sensitivity itself is not the flaw. It is the instrument. This is why denial of governance never fully works. You can adopt the language of indifference. You can explain everything in terms of chemistry and probability. You can train yourself to dismiss intuition. But your body continues to register meaning. It tightens when you betray yourself. It steadies when you choose integrity. It reacts to presence. It recoils from fragmentation. These reactions are not learned behaviors alone. They are feedback from the structure you are embedded in. Here is the quiet reversal most never consider. The problem is not that the universe lacks meaning. The problem is that meaning arrives faster than the mind can explain it. So the mind invents reduction, not because it is accurate, but because it feels safer than uncertainty. But safety without truth produces anxiety that never resolves. Truth, when stabilized, produces calm. This episode does not ask you to abandon science. It asks you to stop mistaking measurement for meaning. Mechanics describe how the system functions. They do not explain why it coheres. Governance answers the second question. Not governance as domination, governance as coordination. Once this settles, hierarchy no longer feels threatening. It feels necessary. Because without layers of guidance, freedom collapses into noise. And without freedom, order becomes sterile. The cosmos you live in holds both. That balance is not accidental. And neither are you.
Chapter 3. Identity before hierarchy.
Before hierarchy can be understood, identity must be placed correctly. Most people encounter cosmic structure from the wrong position. They imagine themselves as small, fragile, temporary, looking up at something vast, distant, and impersonal. From that posture, hierarchy feels oppressive. Like a ladder you are too low to climb. Like an authority that exists above you, watching rather than including. That posture is the distortion. You are not outside the structure trying to understand it. You are inside it, participating in it, contributing to it, even now. Hierarchy, as it exists in the universe, is not about worth. It is about function. In a living system, different levels do different work, not because one is superior in value, but because coordination requires specialization. Your body understands this instinctively. Cells do not resent neurons for directing signals. Organs do not compete for dominance. Each fulfills a role that serves the whole. When function is aligned, hierarchy produces health. When function is confused, hierarchy feels like control. You were not placed on this world as a passive subject of cosmic forces. You were placed here as an agent of development. This matters, because the hierarchy we are about to explore does not exist to manage you. It exists to support what you are becoming. You are not evaluated against perfection. You are observed within process. Growth is the metric. This is why your choices matter even when consequences are delayed. Why intention carries weight even when outcomes are unseen. Why effort registers even when results are imperfect. You are not being tested for compliance. You are being witnessed for coherence. And coherence begins with identity. Here is the identity correction that stabilizes everything that follows. You are not a temporary creature hoping to become eternal. You are an eternal being learning how to operate within time. Your life is not a probationary trial to prove worthiness. It is a developmental stage where capacity is forged. This world does not exist to reward belief. It exists to cultivate discernment. Once this lands, hierarchy stops feeling like surveillance. It feels like scaffolding, not watching for failure, holding space for growth. The unseen intelligences that sustain the universe do not need to control you. They already know the outcome depends on choice. Freedom without context produces confusion. Context without freedom produces stagnation. This is why the structure is layered, not to dominate, but to adapt. You sense this every time you are given responsibility gradually rather than all at once. Every time wisdom comes after failure, not before it. Every time clarity arrives when you are ready to carry it. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is wasted. Hierarchy is not urgency. It is patience. This is also why you feel discomfort when systems demand obedience without understanding. Why coercion triggers resistance in you. Why authority feels legitimate only when it is earned through service. Those reactions are not rebellion. They are alignment with the cosmic pattern. Because true authority in the universe does not assert itself. It stabilizes what is already becoming. From this corrected identity, we can now look outward without fear, not as subjects seeking permission, but as participants learning how the system holds. And so we begin, not at the top, but close to home, with the level of administration that touches your world directly. Chapter 4. The Local Administration. Why Creation is Personal. The universe does not govern itself from a distance. This is the first correction that changes everything. You were taught to imagine creation as something set in motion and then abandoned, a mechanism wound up and left to run on its own. But the structure you live within does not operate like a machine. It operates like a relationship. Every inhabited world exists within a local creation, a vast but intimate domain where life unfolds under a unified administration. Not centralized in the sense of rigid control, centralized in the sense of coherence. At the heart of each local creation stands an originating intelligence, one who brought the domain into existence through direct will, not detached command. This act was not abstract, it was personal. Creation here is not mass production, it is individuation. Each local creation carries a distinct character, a tonal signature that shapes how time flows, how life evolves, how beings learn. Yours is not optimized for ease, it is optimized for depth. This originating intelligence does not rule as a monarch. There is no throne, no demand for worship, no need for allegiance. Instead, there is presence, sustaining presence, the energies that allow matter to cohere, the laws that permit life to breathe and adapt, the consistency that allows cause and effect to teach slowly rather than punish abruptly. This intelligence does not observe from safety. It enters its own creation. This is not symbolism, it is structural. To govern a time-bound world without inhabiting time would be to rule blindly. So this intelligence chooses limitation. It lives as one of the created, subject to uncertainty, to consequence, to the delay between action and result. It knows fear not as a concept, but as a sensation in the body. It knows doubt as a lived experience. It knows choice when outcomes are unclear. This descent does not weaken governance, it completes it. From this lived knowledge, administration becomes informed by empathy rather than abstraction. Correction becomes guidance rather than enforcement. Mercy becomes precision, not leniency. This is why the universe does not correct instantly. Why error is allowed to unfold. Why learning is slow. Because wisdom formed without experience is brittle. Alongside this originating intelligence works a complementary presence, a balancing partner that infuses vitality, mind, and meaning into the structure. Where one establishes order, the other animates it. Where one provides pattern, the other provides motion. Together, they sustain the conditions for life to explore possibility, not to enforce perfection, to allow growth. Beneath this level operate administrators who oversee smaller regions, systems of stars and their worlds. Their role is not to direct behavior, but to maintain equilibrium. They adjust energy flows, they stabilize orbits, they ensure that no system collapses under imbalance before its potential has time to unfold. When disruption occurs, when freedom produces instability that threatens long-term development, they intervene with restraint, not by erasing history, not by overriding will, but by isolating damage so learning can continue without spreading harm. This is where many misunderstand governance. Intervention is not frequent because growth requires consequence. But absence of intervention is not neglect. It is trust. Trust that beings can learn. Trust that experience refines. Trust that even deviation can teach. Your world exists within this local administration. Its volatility is not ignored. Its suffering is not unseen. Its beauty is not accidental. Everything that unfolds here is known within full context, not judged from afar, but understood from within. This is why despair never tells the full story. The weight you feel is not abandonment. It is proximity. You are close enough to the process to feel its pressure. With this foundation established, we can now widen the lens. Because your world does not exist alone, it participates in a greater coordination, one that connects many systems into learning communities far larger than a single planet. And it is there that patterns begin to emerge. Chapter 5. The Constellations, How Worlds Learn Together. No system evolves in isolation for long. Isolation breeds distortion, either stagnation or excess. So the universe organizes learning in communities. These communities are not social in the human sense, they are structural. Groups of star systems are woven together into what can be understood as constellations, not merely patterns of light in the sky, but coordinated regions of shared development. Each constellation contains many systems, each system many worlds, all linked through circuits that allow exchange without interference. The purpose is not uniformity, it is balance. When one system advances rapidly in a particular capacity, its insights are shared. When another lags or struggles, it receives support without humiliation or coercion. This is how growth remains distributed rather than concentrated. Within these constellations exist centers of coordination, places of convergence where representatives gather, not to rule, but to learn. They study patterns that emerge across worlds. They compare methods of resolving conflict. They refine ways of nurturing wisdom without suppressing individuality. These centers do not dictate culture. They translate principles. Truth adapts to context without losing coherence. One world may struggle with technological power outpacing moral maturity. Another may struggle with spiritual insight without practical grounding. Left alone, each could fracture under its own imbalance. Together, they learn. Lessons are exchanged not as commands, but as demonstrations of consequence. What worked? What failed? What healed? What damaged? This is how the universe educates, horizontally as well as vertically. This coordination explains something you have likely noticed but never named. Ideas often arise simultaneously in distant places. Movements toward compassion surface alongside advances in knowledge. Moments of cultural awakening coincide with shifts in scientific understanding. These are not coincidences. They are the visible effects of coordinated learning. No one is told what to think. But the conditions for insight are aligned. This preserves freedom while accelerating maturity. Constellation-level administration exists to prevent extremes, not by limiting innovation, by contextualizing it. A system drifting toward domination is counterbalanced by exposure to systems that learned cooperation the hard way. A system losing vitality is revitalized by contact with worlds that remember how to create. This does not erase difference. It preserves it while preventing collapse. Your world belongs to such a constellation. Its struggles are not hidden. Its progress is noted. Its deviations are contextualized. Nothing that happens here is isolated from the greater learning process. This is why despair is always premature. Constellations allow worlds to see beyond themselves, not directly, but gradually, as readiness develops. The awareness grows slowly, like dawn rather than lightning. Because revelation delivered too quickly fractures minds. Integration requires time. This layer exists so that growth remains communal rather than solitary, so that wisdom becomes shared property rather than guarded treasure, so that no world carries its burdens alone forever. From here, we move outward again, because constellations themselves are nested within larger structures, ones concerned not with individual worlds, but with the evolution of entire regions across time. This is where patience becomes policy, and where inspiration moves without force. Chapter 6: Sectors and Circuits: How Inspiration Moves Without Force. Beyond constellations, the structure widens again, not upward in dominance, outward in perspective. Constellations are grouped into larger regions, often described as sectors. These are not places you could travel to in a ship. They are organizational fields, layers of oversight designed to perceive patterns that smaller units cannot. At this level, the concern is no longer the immediate progress of a world or even a system of worlds. The concern is trajectory, how thought evolves over long spans of time, how civilizations mature or stall, how moral reasoning deepens across generations, how freedom, when left to operate, shapes beings slowly but irrevocably. These intelligences do not intervene in events, they intervene in conditions. They monitor flows of insight, of understanding, of readiness. They watch how ideas land, how minds receive complexity, how long it takes for awareness to integrate without destabilization. Because truth delivered before capacity fractures rather than enlightens. This is where the universe becomes subtle. Communication here does not move through language. It moves through circuits, living pathways that connect mind to mind, realm to realm, without violating distance or autonomy. These circuits do not transmit commands. They transmit possibility, a thought that becomes available when you are ready to receive it, a realization that arrives when resistance softens, a clarity that surfaces exactly when confusion has done its work. You have felt this. Moments when understanding appears without effort. when a problem dissolves instead of being solved, when you suddenly see what you could not see before, not because new data arrived, but because your inner structure changed. This is not random cognition. It is facilitated emergence. Sector-level intelligences act like stewards of timing. They do not rush insight. They do not delay it arbitrarily. They align it. Just as a gardener does not pull a plant upward to make it grow faster, these stewards do not force awareness to bloom prematurely. They tend the soil. Some minds require challenge before clarity. Others require rest. Some require contradiction to sharpen discernment. Others require reassurance to stabilize. No formula applies universally, so guidance is individualized, invisible, respectful, adaptive. This explains why your path does not resemble anyone else's, why certain truths reached you early while others took years, why confusion lingered where others seemed certain, why certainty arrived where others still struggle. There is no hierarchy of worth here, only sequencing. Sector oversight exists so that growth remains sustainable. Too much acceleration produces instability. Too much stagnation produces decay. The balance is maintained quietly through subtle pressure and release. This layer is also why cultural shifts often appear gradual until suddenly they are not. Years of invisible alignment accumulate. Then something clicks. What felt impossible becomes obvious. What felt radical becomes necessary. The change did not arrive suddenly. It ripened. From here, the view expands once more, because even sectors exist within a larger field, one that measures not decades or centuries, but epochs. This is where patience becomes cosmic, and where the unfinished nature of your world begins to make sense. Chapter 7. The Long View. Why nothing here is finished. Beyond sectors, the structure opens into what can only be described as the long view. Here, time is not measured in years, not even in civilizations. It is measured in epochs of becoming. At this level of oversight, intelligences observe the unfolding of entire creations, watching how freedom matures when given room, how error teaches when not immediately corrected, how wisdom forms when consequences are allowed to ripen fully. Nothing here is rushed, nothing is abandoned. The universe is not in a hurry. This is where many misunderstand the nature of guidance. They expect intervention to look like rescue, like sudden correction, like the removal of pain. But that would defeat the purpose. Growth that is rescued too early does not mature. Understanding that is handed down fully formed does not integrate. Love that is made inevitable is not love at all. From this vantage, your world is not broken. It is incomplete, deliberately so. Earth is not meant to feel resolved yet, not meant to feel settled or finished. It is meant to feel in process. The friction you experience, personal, collective, planetary, is not evidence of failure. It is evidence of engagement. A finished world does not ask questions. An evolving world does. A perfected realm does not wrestle with meaning. A developing one must. This is why so many systems on your planet feel simultaneously brilliant and immature. Technology races ahead while ethics lag behind. Knowledge expands faster than wisdom. Power grows before responsibility is fully formed. This imbalance is not accidental. It reveals where growth is required. Higher oversight does not eliminate these tensions. It uses them. Because only through imbalance does discernment sharpen. Only through contrast does judgment mature. Only through lived consequence does responsibility become embodied. From this level, Earth's volatility is not alarming. It is instructive. Your planet sits at a developmental crossroads, advanced enough to choose collectively, immature enough to misuse that choice. This combination is rare and valuable. Many worlds never experience this phase. They stabilize early, they harmonize quickly, they advance without passing through deep moral ambiguity. They are peaceful. They are beautiful. They are also limited in a way Earth is not. Earth's path produces beings who know contradiction intimately, who understand the cost of error because they have lived it, who choose alignment not because it is obvious, but because it is earned. This kind of being carries a depth that cannot be simulated. From the long view, nothing on Earth is wasted. Not suffering, not confusion, not delay. Each becomes raw material, refined slowly, integrated carefully. This does not mean harm is justified. It means harm is not meaningless. There is a difference. One excuses pain, the other redeems it. When you feel impatience with the world, with its slow progress, its repeated mistakes, you are sensing this long arc. You are feeling the tension between what is and what could be. That tension is not a flaw. It is a sign that you are attuned to development itself. And that attunement is not accidental. It brings us closer now, closer to why you matter in this structure, closer to why this hierarchy, vast as it is, still reaches inward, into individual lives, individual choices, individual moments. Because the long view is built from small decisions, repeated. And the universe never forgets that. Next, we narrow the lens, from epochs to a single planet, to a single world under pressure. Because Earth's status within this hierarchy is not ordinary, and understanding that changes everything about how you see your life here. Chapter 8. A world under special conditions. Now we narrow the lens, from the vast arcs of epochs and superdomains to a single world carrying unusual weight. Your world. Not because it is favored, not because it is cursed, but because it operates under special conditions. Earth is not governed the same way most inhabited worlds are. Its developmental environment is intensified. Its margin for error is wider. Its consequences are slower and therefore deeper. This is not punishment. It is design. On most worlds, guidance is clearer. Cultural memory remains intact. Spiritual instruction is continuous. Correction comes early before deviation hardens. On Earth, guidance is muted. Memory fractures. Instruction arrives indirectly. Correction is delayed. This delay is critical, because delay introduces responsibility. When consequence follows immediately, behavior adjusts reflexively. When consequence unfolds slowly, character is revealed. Earth was calibrated for the second condition. Here, beings must choose without certainty, act without guarantees, align without visible confirmation. This creates internal authority. And internal authority is the rarest developmental achievement in the universe. This explains the intensity you feel, why moral decisions feel heavy, why ambiguity persists, why certainty is elusive. You are not meant to be guided by constant reassurance. You are meant to become capable of self-regulation. Under these conditions, growth cannot be outsourced. No institution can carry it for you. No belief system can replace it. No leader can absorb the weight of your choices. This is why Earth produces such extremes. Great cruelty, great compassion, shallow distraction, profound insight, collapse, and renaissance. Often at the same time, the system allows this range because only through range does discernment sharpen. A narrow spectrum produces compliance. A wide spectrum produces wisdom. These conditions also explain why Earth feels isolating, why many sense a lack of connection to the larger whole. The circuits that unify most worlds early are restricted here, not severed. Restricted. This ensures that alignment arises from choice, not saturation. Isolation sharpens longing. Longing drives seeking. Seeking refines perception, and perception matures into recognition. This is the path Earth walks, and it is not an error. But special conditions also introduce instability, and instability requires containment. This brings us to the moment the system changed. the one destabilizing event that altered Earth's developmental trajectory, not permanently, but profoundly. Chapter 9. The Fracture and the Containment. Long ago, long before recorded history, a deviation occurred within this local system. Not among humanity. Above it. An administrative fracture, a decision made by governing intelligences to test autonomy outside the larger alignment. Not rebellion in the theatrical sense. No war of gods, no mythic fall. A philosophical error, the belief that independence could be achieved without reference to the whole, that creativity could persist without coordination, that freedom could thrive without structure. This deviation was allowed to play out, because forced correction would have invalidated the experiment. The result was not immediate catastrophe. It was disconnection. Circuits dimmed, communication slowed, guidance became indirect. Worlds within the affected system were placed under partial containment, not to punish, to protect the rest of the structure. Containment is not exile, it is quarantine, temporary, targeted, reversible. Earth inherited this condition, not as a verdict, as an environment. This is why spiritual insight feels intermittent here, why clarity arrives in flashes rather than streams, why truth must be rediscovered again and again. This is not neglect, it is insulation. Within containment, growth continues, but differently. Without constant external alignment, beings must cultivate internal alignment. Without continuous instruction, understanding must be earned. Without overt presence, faith matures into discernment. This is why Earth produces beings capable of navigating uncertainty without collapse, because uncertainty is the native terrain. Containment also explains the fragmentation of truth traditions. Why wisdom appears is partially understood, then distorted. Why teachers arise are remembered imperfectly, then mythologized. Why clarity must be continually restored. This is not failure, it is friction, and friction generates heat. Heat forges resilience. The system accounts for this. Oversight did not withdraw. It adapted. Additional supports were installed. Internal guides, moral intuition, corrective pressure embedded within experience itself. Even in containment, no world is abandoned, especially not one operating under special conditions. And this leads to the most intimate layer of governance, the one closest to you. Chapter 10. The governance within you. The hierarchy doesn't end above you, it continues within you. Each conscious being carries an inner orientation toward the whole, not imposed, placed, a fragment of the original source, not watching you, but becoming with you. This inner presence does not command, it does not threaten, it does not overwhelm, it waits, it responds to choice. When you choose coherence over convenience, it strengthens. When you choose truth over comfort, it clarifies. When you choose love without assurance, it integrates. This is governance by invitation. This is how the universe grows without coercion. No hierarchy could function without this internal component. External administration stabilizes conditions. Internal guidance matures beings. Together, they complete the circuit. This is why your inner life matters. Why your private decisions carry weight. Why unseen acts shape unseen outcomes. Not because you are being judged, but because you are being understood. From this perspective, nothing you face is trivial. Every choice is data. Every response refines alignment. Every moment contributes to what kind of being emerges from freedom under pressure. This is the experiment Earth hosts, and you are not its subject. You are its participant. We close now, not with conclusion, with orientation. The initiation seal. This episode did not come to convince you, it came to place you. If something in you recognized this, Not believed it, not agreed with it, but remembered. Write "I awaken" in the comments, not as a signal to others, as a signal to yourself. The hierarchy responds to readiness, and readiness is always internal.